So let's talk about Sony's underwhelming but sort of surprising, interesting CinemaCon panel. Now I'm just gonna say straight out of the gate, what the fuck were you thinking, Sony? I mean, like, come on now. Out of all things you could have announced as far as Spider-Man goes, you only announced two things: no Venom 3, no Madam Web update, and the worst of all, no Spider-Man update. But I suppose the Spider-Man MCU update would be a joint update between Marvel and Sony, so fair game, whatever. It is what it is, but yeah, let's get into more specifics of what they announced as far as Spider-Man related projects go. Before we get into today's video, do you enjoy watching Spider-Man content on YouTube? If so, you found the perfect channel to join. For an affordable price of only $2 a month, you can get exclusive access to priority reply to comments, these cool custom badges I made myself, as well as some Spider-Man emojis. But wait, there's more! And lastly, you can get early access to content. If any of that sounds interesting, what are you waiting for? Join today. Thank you for your time. Back to your regularly scheduled content. So let's start with Across the Spider-Verse. I think this was pretty obvious since the film is coming out pretty soon. They showed 14 minutes of the film at CinemaCon. It starts off with Gwen visiting Miles for the first time since the events of Into the Spider-Verse. He obviously still likes her, and I guess she ends up rummaging through his room, finding like embarrassing things until she finds drawings of her. They both leave even though Miles is grounded, but I mean, come on, who wouldn't fold with that riz? This is when Gwen introduces Miles to the secret society of multiversal spider people. She's been stopping threats with this society of multiversal spider people for some time across different dimensions. The goal of this society is to stop the multiverse from colliding, which I find kind of interesting. There's more romance between them, and Miles got that smooth swag riz, but Gwen is iffy, especially because in every universe when Gwen gets with a Spider-Man or Spider-Person, their fate does not end well. And Miles responds with, "There's a first time for everything, right?" Immaculate swagger riz Miles. This is when Gwen meets Miles' parents and stuff like that, and the parents can tell that, you know, Miles and Gwen like each other. Gwen then gets called back to the Spider Society via a wrist device that lets them hop between universes. So she leaves, and this next part actually sounds like a pretty nice sentimental moment between him and his mom. His mom comforts him and encourages him to chase after Gwen, and at this point he's considering opening up to her about being Spider-Man, but he can't because, you know, he has a responsibility. But this scene ends with her making him promise to never lose sight of who he truly is, and we get some snippets of music produced by Metro Boomin. This movie sounds like it's going to be really good and have like some good emotional beats, emotional impact, action, just everything we could have wanted to possibly see in this film. I can't wait. I'm super excited. Hope Across the Spider-Verse is a great movie. Now let's move on to their next announcement, which was surprisingly, very surprisingly, sort of interesting. So they revealed the trailer for Kraven the Hunter, and it starts off with a group of poachers in the wild trying to escape their bounties of wild animal carcasses. Kraven the Hunter is Sony's first Marvel R-rated film, which I find interesting and I think is a good thing, because I mean, Kraven can be a pretty brutal character, but I mean, I don't necessarily think Kraven needs an R rating, but I guess that sort of helps the film as far as like fan reception goes, and like maybe people would want more blood and gore, even though like whenever he does fight Spider-Man, if that ever does happen, it like that film is not going to be R-rated. He's going to be nerfed because Spider-Man is never R-rated, so I don't know. As far as a Spider-Man crossover, it doesn't really matter if his solo film is R-rated, because again, when he crosses over with Spider-Man, like he's just going to get nerfed. That's just what it is. But Kraven is like slaughtering people like animals. He's using his bare hands. He's using weapons. He even apparently uses his teeth to bite someone's fucking nose off and spits it at the fucking camera. He's jumping on and off walls, pounces on foes like an animal. This seems pretty interesting so far, but then it gets even more interesting. The main conflict of the film, I guess, is between Kraven and his father. The action has over-the-top gore, apparently like Deadpool films, which is interesting, and it's sort of like comical. We see him use spears, bear traps to kill people, and then a mysterious new character is played by Ariana DeBose, who is briefly teased. I'm sure that's Kraven's love interest or wife. I forgot her name. Comment it down below because I forgot. I know she's a doctor of some sort though, at least. I know that, but I don't remember her name at the moment and I don't really feel like looking it up. But we do see his comic accurate vest with the fur around the shoulders. I guess he pulls it out of an old chest. Sounds familiar. But he's not really wearing it in the trailer, I guess. and there's a huge fight between Kraven the Hunter and a famous Spider-Man villain, the Rhino. Now, what Rhino, you may be asking? TASM 2 Rhino? A new Rhino? It's not TASM 2 Rhino, it's a new Rhino, but I guess the guy injects himself with the serum that mutates himself into a huge Rhino beast rather than a mechanical suit like the TASM films. And we only saw like the fist, I guess, that somewhat looks comic accurate. I think Rhino is fine, but the thing is like how they do Rhino, because I don't know, seemingly people don't like this idea that he just injects himself and turns into the Rhino, kind of like the fucking Hulk. But we also don't really want a mech suit either. I think they should try their best to just do it like how he is in the comics. Have him be like a naturally pretty big dude. He doesn't have to be like ridiculously big, but like just have him be like a pretty decent sized dude. And he get this armor around him. He can't take it off, but I guess like when he gets that armor, he's also injected with some sort of serum maybe. And it's a one-time thing. It's not this thing where like he can control it, seemingly like how it is in the film, at least in this film. And yeah, at that point he's Rhino forever. Also, some people really think that just because there's a new Rhino that this isn't set in the TASMverse. That doesn't necessarily mean that. I'm pretty sure this Kraven film is right now standalone until like it comes out, and like I'm pretty sure it's a situation where it's like if the fans recept it well and they like it, they'll say, oh yeah, it's canon to like Venom and Morbius or whatever. But if it doesn't do good, they're just gonna say, no, it's a standalone film, we'll just leave it at that. And they're probably doing this because of Morbius flop. Some people are taking this as like, oh, we have a new Rhino, so it's not in the TASMverse, and that means Andrew Garfield isn't going to be the Spider-Man of the Sonyverse. No one knows who the Spider-Man of the Sonyverse is yet. There's still like rumors floating around, but like, I don't know. I don't believe that they're gonna do a Tom variant for the universe. I think they're still trying to get Andrew, but there also have been rumors of like, apparently Sony and Marvel have a better relationship and like they're working on each other's projects or something like that. But I don't know, we'll see. I won't lie to you guys, and y'all know I'm a hater as far as the Sony and Marvel universe goes, because they don't know what they're doing. But this film does mildly pique my interest. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. So I will actually go see this in theaters to see what it's about, as sad as that is. But yeah, that's about it. There was nothing else at CinemaCon as far as Sony goes. Unbelievable. They only announced 2 Spider-Man things. No one gives a fuck about Gran Turismo or Napoleon or whatever. No, I'm just kidding. I know there's an audience for like every movie, but like, come on. Spider-Man's your biggest IP, and they just continue to fumble their live action universe. But we'll see what happens with Kraven when that comes out. So what do you think of Across the Spider-Verse and Kraven details we got? Make sure you comment your opinion down below so I can discuss all of that with you in the comment section. Thank you for taking time out of your day to click on this video. If you are new to the channel, I cover Spider-Man related scoops, rumors, leaks, confirmations for the games, movies, TV shows, and I try to upload as much as I can. So if any of that interests you, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. If you want more of this type of content, leave a like on the video. Don't forget to check out my latest video on the left if you haven't already. I hope you have had a good day and that you enjoyed the video. Until next time.